We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. Hey Chicago, and welcome back to Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka Miss Hip Hop. And we have a spectacular guest with us today, who specializes in a number of skills. She is a holistic life coach, quantum healer, Reiki master, and a meditation and mindfulness teacher, all the way from Winnipeg, Canada. And she was kind enough to sit and share some of her knowledge here with us today on Speak Your Mind. So without further ado, I would like to bring to the mic Kara Michelle. Hey Kara, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing great too, girl. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh, thank you for the intro.
You are so welcome. I'm glad you took the invite because you are just an amazing person. I'm gonna get back into this, but here on Speak Your Mind, Kara, we start off all our interviews with the icebreaker question for our guests. So let's get into it, girl.
Okay. I'm scared. But I'm ready.
Thank you. I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
What is it that you wish to accomplish while living through this pandemic?
Ooh, okay. Specifically during the pandemic? I really want to during this time right now, I really want to be shining extra light for people and like helping them to see that even though when there's all these things going on externally and, you know, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's uncertainty, there's distress and all these things happening, that not to lose ourselves, to come back to our true self, come back to love, come back to the things we can control, because it's from that place that we can actually make a difference, or we can actually overcome or make something beautiful out of all of the heaviness that's going on right now. So that's kind of what I'm personally trying to embody and accomplish, and in my own life, as well as to share and spread with others.
Wow. That was well said and beautifully expressed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wish you the best on this incredible journey that you're on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. Kara, tell the listeners out there a little bit about yourself and how life was like growing up in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, for me, I pretty much grew up in a fairly small town here, and then, well, not super small, but I always had these big dreams, I guess you could say, and never really knew if or how I was going to accomplish them. And it was actually through a series of some really hard times, and for me, like, I'll just share it, and then we've got it out on the table for everyone listening. But for me, when I was 18, my brother had an allergic reaction to a prescription drug, so he passed away. And then a couple years after that, I was sexually assaulted at my university, and then very soon after that, I was driving across Canada one winter, and I hit black ice, and I flipped my car twice, and then I rolled 4 times into the ditch. And so, like, I had a lot of different heavy things to unpackage and kind of like heal through and work through. but those were all the things that helped me get to where I am today in my life, and to like send me on my spiritual path, you know, my mindset path, and ultimately to be able to help other people too.
That's incredible. You're living your life on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost chilling to hear you say it, because a lot of us are lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we need redirecting.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of what's happening in the world right now with the pandemic and just everything that's being brought to the surface, all of the different corruption and inequality that's been going on, I think it is bringing direction for people, and it is helping to create that purpose, because for so many of us, I think it's easy. We kind of become, we end up like having these things happen in our lives, and maybe they make us feel stuck or small, or like we're not important or we're not good enough. But actually you can use that pain and that struggle to propel you in the opposite direction of like I always love to say, going from pain to purpose, like really taking that pain and like, how can I help others, or how can I give back, or how can I do something beautiful with this? So yeah, I really love what you said there about like that feeling lost or feeling stuck, and it's like finding your way through, definitely, even though you've had some hard times.
Yeah, you hit on an issue that a lot of people struggle with daily, and that is the feeling of hitting rock bottom and not being able to climb your way back up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of using that stagnant feeling energy into something more purposeful, more meaningful, people choose to wallow in it. And if they only knew, or could just open up that other side of them to know that energy and vibes and entities, and it's just real, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can transform that into something beautiful, like a butterfly.
Yes. Yeah. I loved, like, butterflies were one of my biggest, like, as cheesy as this sounds, but I know we're also going to talk about nature and love for animals and some of those things as we get going. But butterflies were honestly like a big inspiration for me, especially after the grief process with my brother. It was really like, you know what, Kara, this is kind of like the caterpillar going into the cocoon. It's hard, it's dark, it's lonely, you know, you're feeling all these things, but you can reemerge from this as that beautiful butterfly. And like, it might take time. Like, I really didn't put pressure on like expecting things to happen quickly by any means, but it was kind of just that motivation of like, this is going to be the transformation that's going to help you do more beautiful things in the world. So I love that you mentioned that with the butterflies.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad that we're actually getting into the nature part of the interview. Girl, this is amazing how I found you. Literally, I'm gonna tell you what happened before. About 2 weeks prior to me getting to know you, so to speak, I was looking at this channel on YouTube called Dodo. And Dodo channel, you guys are unfamiliar with, they have very touching 3 to 4 or 5 minute stories of human interactions with animals. And everyone knows that when someone's really peaceful, that animals just can't stay away from them. They can't. So I came across her video, and this is all me watching these videos for 2 weeks straight without me even hitting the subscribe button. I just automatically went to it. So with the message. And when I saw Kara's video, well, Kara, would you tell everyone out there your story with the robin that you met?
Yeah. So I guess it was about 2 years ago that I found this baby robin. I named him Squeaker, and he was being like pulled out of his nest from like a big crow, and the crow was actually flying off with him, and I was running after him because I was like, oh no. And I was just starting to walk my dog when I found him, and the crow dropped him to the ground. And so I ran over, I picked him up, and I wasn't sure because he was pretty weak and little at that time. I really wasn't sure if he would make it. I wasn't sure. I definitely didn't know how to get him back into his nest because it was pretty high up in a tree. So I took him home, and I have a lot of experience doing animal rehabilitation. So I've worked with animals a fair bit in my life, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just try and take care of him for the next few days and feed him, give him his water. And as you would have seen from watching the video too, like we did our flying lessons where he'd start to like practice flapping, and he'd be standing on my fingers and just kind of like flapping away, and it was so cute. So we were together for a few weeks, and just like created this beautiful bond. And then like it was literally the day after, or it was an hour after I did the interview with the dodo, and he was like sitting on my shoulder for the interview, and like he would fly and land on my head all the time, and he was just like so comfortable. But it was like 1 hour after the interview finished, and I shared his story, and he was like squeaking and chirping away into the camera, and he flew away, and it was like that was his big send-off.
Wow.
So it was like I honestly felt like he knew, okay, like I can go now. Almost like he was ready. And but then I ended up seeing him a couple weeks later, and I just knew it was him because he flew from this far off tree and like dive bombed at my head, and like almost almost landed on my head and landed right above it on a tree branch. And I was like, oh my gosh, Squeaker. It was hilarious. So I've always loved animals, but I just love like his story because he just had the greatest personality in this tiny little bird.
He was so proud, G. Like he was proud to be on your shoulder. Like, this is my mommy. She healed me. Like he stuck his little bird chest out. It was so cute.
Yeah, he did. He was he was a character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when is the last time you had an interaction with Squeaker? Did he come back since the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, so you know what? Like last summer, I was pretty sure I saw him. Like there was just a super loud robin like staying right around our house, and so I'm that crazy girl. I'm like, man, if my neighbors probably think I'm insane because I'm like standing in the front yard just going like cheep cheep, squeaking and making noises to him. So I'm like, oh, what, it doesn't matter what they think. But
right.
But this year I'm positive I saw him because my dad was actually going through, he needed heart surgery, and so it was like a couple days after he was recovering, and it was a lot of health problems were going wrong, and I was really stressed out. And so to be totally honest, I was kind of like praying or talking to my brother, and since he passed away, he's always sent me a lot of owls. So, but it was like middle of the day, I didn't expect to see an owl, but I was just kind of like, I just needed a sign that things were going to be okay with my dad. And I walked out into our kitchen and I like looked out the front screen door, and there was a robin sitting right on our railing in front of the door, staring directly in at me. And I got chills. I was like it was like right after I had said this prayer too. So I'm sure it was Squeaker. I went outside and he flew over and like sat in the backyard and just like was chirping down at me, and I was like sitting there. And so I mean, whether it was him or whether it was like another bird just that was there, I don't know, but I really think it was him.
That is so interesting. That's a beautiful story too, because I mean, as you were talking and everything like that, I just saw the video, was one video of you were just kind of, oh yeah, you were talking to the dog. I mean, the dog wanted you to play tag with him or something. And every now and then you would take the camera and then stare into the sky. And I know on one occasion when you stared into the sky, like the clouds looked like angels and stuff, like just looking down and everything. And I never like played with clouds like that, like, whoa, that looks like a bird in the sky, or that looks like this in the sky. I actually saw that, you know, because I've never been one to point a cloud out before.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It's very beautiful, but I didn't know that I mean, your brother's presence is very heavy around you, like I know you talk to him, so I don't know what to say, but no, and I think the more and I'll be even totally honest, like I would have been very skeptical of a lot of these things when I was younger, and like I wanted to believe in something more, and I wanted to, and I always loved animals. I always wanted to be taking care of them, but I don't think I ever felt kind of the deep connection. But yeah, I think the more I've obviously grown and like worked through these different things, and the more I've cleaned out a lot of my fears or like trauma and that heaviness, the more open I do feel to God or the universe or whatever kind of higher power it is out there, right?
And to my brother as well. So I do think, like you said, with animals even coming to people who are like, they're drawn to people who have that level of peace or that level of love and stuff, and I really have noticed that too.
Yeah, so have I. Then also realize, we're not aliens, we're not alone. There are others like us on this high frequency that we feel, this higher vibration. When you're on a higher vibration, I mean, literally, you know, if you control it, there's nothing that can really touch you. You can see it, but it can't touch you, you know? That's just what I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that too, though. Definitely. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of what's going on, or what has been going on in the media for years, is like they've been trying to keep us in fear and keep us controlled. Because when we get into that higher vibration and we're in that place of love, we're powerful. Like we are so powerful.
Very powerful. And because I remember having this conversation with someone, they was really saying that there's more hate in the world than there is love. And I kept saying, no, there's more love in the world than there is hate. Well, how could you say that? But what I meant was, love is more powerful than hate. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. Because if we all can get on that same level of kumbaya type thing, you know what I'm saying? We could be a beautiful nation of people all around the world. That is world peace in my eyes.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you're totally right. I think love will always be stronger than hate or stronger than fear. And but because we've been controlled in what we see, we think that there's more fear and we think that there's more bad things going on. But that's just like it's because, well, you never see like a happy story on the news, or you never see something to celebrate, because then people would be feeling good and we'd all be walking around in this totally different place. So yeah, I think that is part of, like, to kind of, I'm all over the place, but kind of just to go back to what we started with too, I think that is a huge part of what is going on in the world right now, is like it's forcing people to look at the world differently, and some people are getting really pulled into the fear and really pulled into that dark place, and it is extra heavy. But then others are trying to go, you know what, like I feel so bad in this place, and I feel hopeless, and I really can't do anything. Like, fear causes inaction, whereas love opens you up to that alignment and to that inspiration, where you can inspire other people and you can give back or help somehow. But fear just makes you want to curl up in a ball, like, right. So you don't do anything.
That's true. That is so true. Love can also rebirth you too, instead of just keeping you in that fetal position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
I don't want to get too far off into subject, but I could talk to you for hours, like literally. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel that way too.
Exactly, because we just feel and see a lot of stuff. Speaking of which, can you kind of break down what the titles that you do carry, such as holistic life coach or Reiki master? Like, what are all these things?
Yeah. Okay. So, holistic life coach. I did, like, so to me, I am really big in like holistic healing, which would be that well-rounded, and also like healing the root cause. So there's a lot of, and myself included, we look for kind of like the magic pill, like something that's just going to magically fix us or solve the problem. But it's kind of like a band-aid solution. It's just kind of covering it up or masking it. So for me, and what I focus on in my work and with my clients, is like finding that root cause of these things, so we can actually heal that and release that, so that you're not even carrying it anymore. Like, there's nothing to cover up. You're able to break free from that space. So I do my work with a combination of like mindset, like subconscious reprogramming, mindfulness stuff, like NLP and a few different things like that. And then also spiritual work. So meditation, Reiki, which is a form of energy work, and now I'm currently just starting to get certified as a quantum healer, which I'm like super passionate about. So Reiki is like, working on our energy body and the chakras and like the meridians that we have, and just unblocking stagnant energy. So if you've got like trauma, for instance, or me, even after like sexual assault, my root and sacral chakras were really blocked, and like that there's no safety. I don't feel safe or secure in my body. I don't feel, there's all these different things that correlate with that. And so Reiki was actually something that really helped me to get that energy moving again and unblock there. So yeah, that's been very, very powerful as well.
How do you spot a person? I mean, I don't even know if I'm wording this right, but how do you spot a person that has blockage inside of them?
Yeah. So I mean, we pretty much all have something, but even a way for people to like, who are listening, to think on this themselves is like, for instance, like you have a throat chakra. So for me, that was very blocked for a long time, because I never felt like people cared about my opinion. So I never felt like I was heard. So I stopped talking, or I got quiet, or I got small, right? that could be like from instances in childhood or relationships where you were kind of ignored or pushed aside, right? Yeah. So and then like your heart chakra, if you're someone who has been really, I mean, a lot of us probably have that from some kind of deep pain or hurt, and making it feel like it's unsafe to love, or it's unsafe to open up and connect with someone else because you're so afraid of like that heartbreak. So maybe there's a blockage and there's some like energy stuck. It's not working properly, so it's keeping you in that place of like guarding your heart and staying small.
Wow. That is deep. Very, very deep. So I see how powerful it can be. If I'm saying it right, Reiki master. Is that a part of, talk about your free mindset training that you got going on?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's like for anyone, it's targeted at women, but honestly the stuff in there I'm sharing is helpful for anyone. But really looking at the power of the mind, because I think a lot of us take for granted the fact that like, oh, our minds are so powerful, and if we believe something, your mind is programmed to like continue to look for proof of that. So if you believe you're not enough,
oh my God,
your brain is literally going to keep like, oh, this person gave me this dirty look, so like, and then you just reaffirm that you're not enough. Yeah. So like in this free mindset training, I'm just sharing, 3 major areas where people end up staying stuck and maybe don't even realize how much it's keeping them in their current identity and their current beliefs. And then also sharing my 3-step process that I teach my clients on how to break out of that place. Because like me, for instance, after being through some of my heavy things, I didn't realize that I was kind of playing the victim, but I was so heavily clinging to my story of like, these are the things I've been through, and like nobody understands, or like, like my friends who maybe hadn't been through similar things, like I felt like I wasn't walking around complaining about poor me, but like I kind of had that belief, like, things are really hard and not working out for me. So that identity was shaping how I showed up and would have really impacted, like I could never have gone to where I am today had I stayed with those beliefs. So in this training, I'm really sharing for people how to shift your mindset so that you, no matter what you've been through, no matter what has happened or what you're carrying, with the right tools, the right process, you can find that freedom and get to the other side and become the hero.
The hero of saving yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So once the person goes through the mind shift, the changing of the mind shift, are they going to realize what it was exactly that was quote unquote holding them back or creating blockage and trauma?
Yeah, they so it depends. You definitely will. It depends how much you've done beforehand, how open you are to it, in terms of like how soon you'll notice that. But honestly, yeah, if you're like looking to figure out, okay, where did this stuff come from, or why do I feel this way, or even like one thing I talk about a lot is patterns. Like if you feel like you keep having these patterns over and over again, constantly showing up, there's something there that you haven't healed or you haven't learned, which is why you keep attracting it or you keep staying stuck there.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, the mindset work and like creating that awareness around these things helps so much for you to be able to finally go, okay, like this isn't happening anymore. Like, this isn't my pattern, or this isn't my belief. And from there, take the action to shift out of it and create something new for yourself.
Exactly. Starting over is not as hard as people think, but you shouldn't want to keep starting over, hitting the repeat button. You should want to repeat and then stay there and higher elevate yourself from there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
What is your sign, Kara?
My sign?
Yeah, as in
horoscopes.
Astrology. Yeah.
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus, cool. So, what is it about Tauruses that that you like? That you like to be a Taurus? Like, what do you like about it?
Ooh, well, you know what? They actually are, like, they're an earth sign, so very grounded, and I think that's also my whole animal nature connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I will admit I'm definitely very stubborn, and I like it though, because it's my stubbornness that has, like, I think got me through, because I just was like, I'm not staying here. Like, I'm so determined to find something better. And then even when I started my business, like, there's been so many learning curves the last few years of building my business, but I've been so stubborn. I'm like, there's no failure. Like, that's not an option. It's like, it's gonna work. So I like to think that's a strength. Yeah.
That is a strength. You turned it into a strength, because too much of something is bad for you. Just like, yeah. So you turned that into a strength. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Carol, like, what does like a universal connection mean to you when it comes to spreading positive energy flow?
That's a beautiful question.
Thanks.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I mean, I started reading A Course in Miracles last year, and like, one of the things they talk about in that is really, like, everything's always a choice of love or fear, and love is always the answer. And, like, to me, I think creating this movement, or like connecting and like all of this, it just comes down to being as much love as you possibly can, and, like, instead of judging or criticizing or all of these things, it's like, okay, how can I see that they're also just a person who's trying their best?
Yes.
Like, yeah, everyone's doing the best with what they know, so how can I just kind of accept them as they are, or not leave them worse off? Like, I don't need to be harmful. I can just stay in my place of love and just like send them love and move on if it's not working. But I think just like general kindness, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Just simple knowing right from wrong. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think, like, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I think, like, my thing too is just, like, I love looking at the ripple effect, and, like, that butterfly effect of, like, man, if like I see one person today and I can just be feeling so happy, or like feeling so excited, or in this place of love, and like we have this short interaction, but if it leaves them better off, like, who are they gonna go see later on, where now maybe they're in a better mood, and so it ripples out. And so to me, that's kind of like that web of consciousness too, is like, we are all connected, so,
right? Exactly. We're connected by the wave and frequencies and energies from each other, that we give each other, that we give ourselves.
100%. Yeah,
that is powerful, girl. That is so powerful.
I think, man, if everyone if even like half of the world could really get on board with that and see like, yeah, you know what, we are all connected, and like my energy, my thoughts, my actions, they matter. So like, what can I do today that's going to just like help someone or somehow, and like, how can I be in this place? Like, things would change fast.
Super duper fast.
Yeah.
The power of the mind is so powerful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long, but at the same time, I'm just so selfish right now with your love. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Let's talk about your popular YouTube channel, Live Your Truth. Let's how did that come about?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, like I just realized how much I love talking about these things. So I was like, you know what? I want to start a YouTube channel and just be able to like share a whole bunch of different things with people, and get different tools and knowledge out there and help people see they're not alone, and to live your truth. To me, means so many things. It means like living your dreams. It means living what you want and not what like your parents or your society wants. So like your truth.
Yes.
It also means like truth as in the fact that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So like live that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then that comes back to that whole love thing too. Like when you're just truly in alignment with who you are, and the deepest parts of who you are, like that's what I truly believe that's what we're all meant to do on this planet, is like to get to that place, to just be like, fully embodying our best selves.
Exactly. And the next lifetime will be different. Do you believe in reincarnation?
I do. Yeah, I do. That's also what during some of the hardest times I was like, girl, you push through and learn these lessons now, because I don't want to come back and do them again.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. That's you just put that in a nutshell. That's something people should realize. Like, it's not how you react. It's how you react to it. It's not what's happening, it's how you react to it. So you have to think about it consciously, like, well, what am I not learning for this same scenario to repeat in my life over and over again? What is it about this situation that I'm not learning? And then when you can figure that out, you can move away from it, because there's so many more lessons to come after it. Why be just stuck on one when you can go to a million, infinity, Just keep moving. That's the movement. The body is meant to move.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's that stagnant, stuck energy that blocks us, really. And that's also what creates the anxiety, or creates more of the fear, or like the unhappiness. I think we fear the change and we fear that growth because it's like unknown. But the more you just stay where you are, like, actually the worse you're gonna feel.
Yeah, exactly. Because
you're like blocking your growth, and you're blocking like, hey, like the universe, or again, whatever you believe in, like all these beautiful things are lined up and waiting for you. But like you're over here still learning that same thing from years ago because you're like afraid of like what else could be there or something, so you're missing out on all these things.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's just like when technology moves, it moves rapidly. You can't expect to know the same things you knew when you were 9 years old and now we're 22 years old. You know what I mean? Or 56 years old or whatever, you just gotta keep it up.
Yeah, 100%. I think the more we can like embrace that, and like embrace the fact that like we aren't ever gonna know it all, and like, but that change is actually where like the opportunities come. So just kind of like keep growing and keep learning and keep taking that next step towards something. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, well, what did you learn from it? And like, what are you going to do differently next time?
Exactly. Because doing the same thing over and over is considered insane.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Now that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. No kidding.
For real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I think like, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's definitely why I started the YouTube channel, just to be able to share and like help people see like, wow, yeah, my mind is really powerful, or whoa, if I shift my perspective on this thing, like all of a sudden everything looks so different.
Yeah.
It
does look different. And so what can the viewers expect out of each episode that you upload on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. So they really vary a fair amount, but generally, as you can tell from listening to this, it is like predominantly either spiritual based or mindset based. And I really love sharing different things that are either like manifestation, law of attraction, like deep releasing tools and
synchronicities.
Uncovering your limiting beliefs, like uncovering your blocks, and confidence tools, like all these different things. Ultimately, what they can expect from my YouTube channel is just like things that are going to help them feel more empowered and feel more strong and in control of themselves to make these changes and start to shift to where they want to be.
Yes, indeed. How important is meditation to the human body?
Oh, so important. I feel like that's like probably, aside from like water, I feel like meditation is probably like the next, because it helps on all levels. So we hear about it in terms of like stress relief, right? And but most people are living in a constant state of like fight or flight and that constant anxiety, stress. So our bodies don't ever relax and do their normal functions, which is what leads to disease. It leads to all these different problems and burnout. So meditation, by being able to just practice stilling your mind, or just focusing in, even if you're just focusing in on your breathing and taking some deep breaths, all of that actually helps to send different chemicals to your body and allow your body to slow down and everything to kind of start doing its normal job again. But it also obviously helps your mind and clear out some of the clutter and reconnect, so you're able to see things differently and see maybe opportunities that weren't there for you before. And then obviously that spiritual connection too, where you can really, like, I've had some crazy deep and profound experiences in meditation that like, are so out there, but it really helps you connect to something bigger than yourself. Wow.
You just made meditation sound so alluring. Like, hey,
yes. Yes, I was hoping I would.
Well, you hit the nail on the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Because it's easy. I think, we hear about it a lot, and I mean, I dismissed it for a long time myself, but like once you have a few of those really, really good experiences, or you notice that it does help you relax or feel calmer, it's a lot easier to then try to stick to it, because you're like, yeah, you know what? It actually does really help.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got a lot of homework, you guys. You've got a lot of things to practice.
Sure do. Sure do. And speaking of homework and practice and stuff, how can people reach out to you to start one of your classes? And I have another question after that, but how can people reach out to you to start getting coaching immediately from you?
Yeah, of course. So definitely the best place to go is we could go to my website, which is caramichelle.co. And on there, you've got the mindset training we talked about. So if anyone wants to watch the free mindset training, but then there's also a link to book a discovery call, so we can just jump on the phone and really dive into, what you're currently struggling with and where you'd like to be, and then see if I'd be a good fit to help get you there and help coach you through that. As well, Instagram, my handle is Real Cara Michelle, and YouTube, you can find a ton of different content on there by just searching Cara Michelle.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Before we get out of here, I do need to ask you, who coached you? Who trained you?
Yeah, I had a lot of different coaches and mentors. So I pretty much have spent the last 8 or so years going all into personal development, spirituality, traveling the world and working with different coaches. So I studied a lot in India. I worked with different people when I was in Australia and Bali as well. And so, some of my biggest influences would be Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's amazing for this mindset and mind, all about the brain and reprogramming. I love Louise Hay, all about self-love and how we can heal ourselves. And yeah, but then in terms of coaches, yeah, I've definitely had quite a few over the years and all around the world.
Yeah, I see you've been all around the world.
Yeah.
Where, if you had to choose one place in the world, despite everything going on, if everything was just, under control, where would you choose to live? Where would you want to go?
Yeah, I'm a beach girl, so if I'm by a beach, nice sunny water by the ocean, anything where there's nature, obviously, as we've kind of summarized with me on this. I do love that. So I love Bali in Australia, but I also loved Sri Lanka. I lived there for almost a year and worked with elephants there for a while. So yeah, that's a beautiful country too. Yeah,
sounds like it. It really, really does. I know I had Sri Lanka stuck in my head for the last 3 or 4 days. I don't know why, but
oh yeah,
I didn't know, but I did know. I guess because it makes sense right now. And then I also saw a picture of you with a few exotic animals, an elephant, and I can't remember the other animals, but I was just wowed. Yeah. I also I worked with monkeys in Guatemala a few years back, which was so cool, and different at a wildlife rehabilitation place there, and then at an elephant sanctuary in Sri Lanka, and there was a wild horse in India. That was probably one of the pictures that you would have seen. And then when I was in Bali, I kind of took care of some stray animals there for a while too. So I just I like tropical places and animals and water. Being by water is so peaceful. Isn't it? It's so peaceful. The feeling of peace is beautiful. It's so beautiful. But which brings me to a couple of more questions I had to touch on and ask you. Okay, is it good luck or bad luck if a bird poops on you?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I wish I actually knew the real answer.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I had a bird poop on me when I was about like 10 or 11, walking down the street. I just happened to look up in the trees and I had bangs, so it landed in my bangs. It was so disgusting. I'm like, what did I do, God?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I do? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've always heard it's good luck, but I don't know. I think we also make our own luck. So if you believe it's good, then it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that, Kara. It's good luck.
Yeah.
Gosh. The second question I wanted to ask you, how is the squirrel doing that you found today? Can you tell that story too?
Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna make it, but I know we saw the squirrel out our front window and he was kind of rolling around and like obviously in pain, and so I guess he had been hit by a car, and it didn't look like there were that many injuries on him, but I brought him over into the grass and like got a little box for him and tried to give him some water, but I think he's probably, it's so hard because I was also like, I'll try and do some energy work and like some Reiki and like try to bring all this love, but I also just I just don't want him to suffer. So I'm hoping. I don't want him to suffer
either.
Yeah.
I'll pray for him because I don't want him to.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And but it's those moments too that I think always, like, for me, even that was the same with Squeaker. You know, at that time I was still there was like a million things on my to-do list, or I felt stressed about a few things here and there, and then like I found Squeaker and it was like, oh my gosh, you get to like, you reconnect in this different way, and like your stresses, I don't know, for me, my stresses feel a lot less significant because I'm like, oh, I just want to help this innocent little creature that's suffering. So that's the same with the squirrel. I just kind of was like, oh, I just want to do anything I can to help him versus, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. And kind of helps ground you, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that does help ground you. That was probably one of the most selfless things I ever heard a human being say before, that it eased their mind to just give their heart to a little animal that's innocent, you know, and you want to help them. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's why you're respected by the animal world. It's not too many people that are respected by the animal world in that manner, because you make friends with everybody, and that's so cute.
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Thank you so much, Kara, for coming on today's show. You have made, probably, it feels like you've made my decade. Is that weird? I'm so serious.
Oh no, it's like, I'm honored. Honestly, this has been beautiful. I'm so glad we had this conversation, and I've loved everything we talked about. So I'm grateful to be here.
Yes, thank you so much again. All that energy goes right back to you, girl. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And I actually want to say to you guys out there, I didn't know it was so many people. So thank you for listening. I really, really appreciate it. Everybody in the Philippines, I had no idea you guys were listening. Thank you so much. And I hope to bless you with my presence one day. That was a joke, but I do want to come there. And to all my
beautiful. Yeah, you should
been
go.
There before? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Yeah. I went to like Boracay, which is like the most beautiful beach for sure I've ever been to. And I went to like El Nido Island and Palawan, and I kind of did like a few different islands there because there's so many. But yeah, it's beautiful.
It's dope. I'm so glad you went there before. It was so fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. I just was like, oh, you gotta go. I had to type in.
They're cheering you on, like, yeah, bring her here.
Yeah.
Pauline, that's so cool. Thank you so much, Kara. We're just gonna end this show right here. Any last words?
No, just thank you guys. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you so much for having me, Queen Star. And I'm so grateful to be here with you guys, and just live your truth, like live your best life for you, and shine bright.